Happy holidays! Hello. Come on in, gather around the fire. It's time for the final 2023 edition of Ask Amy Anything / Ask Amy Walks Down the Aisle, because producer Jay tells me you still have questions about the wedding, which is mere days away now. But here's something you didn't know, and this is actually a secret for Jay too. Surprise! I moved!
What?
And now I've got an enormous Christmas tree and a fireplace, so come on in. It's all decorated for the holidays, and we are glad to have you with us on another edition of Ask Amy Anything Walks Down the Aisle.
It looks gorgeous, by the way. Just have to say.
Yeah, I worked so hard at it. Actually, it took hours of labor, and it was a tough secret to keep, but I wanted to unveil the gorgeous living room that I now live in. How about that?
Look at that fireplace and the stockings. It's perfect.
Would you believe that I started the fire myself? It's not gas. It's real.
Even after the latest incidences?
Oh, yes. Even after I set my oven on fire, I figured it was safer in the fireplace.
Yeah, better spot for it.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you. We both have time off toward the end of the year, and so this will be our final salut. And just want to tell you thank you for supporting us all year long. And yeah, we're ready to answer your final, biggest, most curious and probing questions.
We are indeed ready, because I am still getting inundated with wedding questions, and now I get all these holiday questions.
It's almost over, Jay.
Oh.
It's almost over.
Hey, the people just want to know. They're just very curious. So we had to make a third video now. And now with the holidays around the corner, I mean, the Christmas questions are coming in. Why not pair the two? It's a perfect time.
Perfect.
So let's just jump right into it, right?
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start here. We're going to do a couple wedding questions first. Christmas, wedding, Christmas, kind of mix and match here a little bit.
Keep me on my toes,
and of course, at the end, we get a little rapid fire. So we'll start with Kathy. Kathy she asks, how are you staying so calm to do the radio program every night when the big day is getting so close?
That's a great question, Kathy. Thank you for asking. Actually, believe it or not, the radio show is my haven, where I don't have to think about wedding plans. I don't have to think about Airbnb reservations. I don't have to think about the food list that my mom desperately wants me to put together pronto. I don't have to think about head counts. I don't have to think about paying off balances. I don't have to think about anything except for sports and entertaining the masses. So actually, it's kind of a cool respite every night when I do the show that I just get to think about work, because most of the rest of the time my brain is moving at light speed with all of the to-do lists and the various ways that we have to get ready for the wedding. Though I will say I'm not stressed at all. The process has been relatively smooth, and we've not had a whole lot of speed bumps.
Well, that actually segues us perfectly into our next question, because Tom wants to know, has there been any part of the planning that's been more or even less stressful than you would have imagined?
Once we found the venue, actually, the rest has been a piece of cake. I love cake. Believe it or not, it really hasn't been that crazy. People who tell you that you have to start planning a wedding a year and a half in advance, they've never tried my method, because we did it in under 6 months. So once we had the venue that we wanted, everything really fell into place. The only speed bump was that we lost our photographer. This was kind of scary. I hadn't heard from him in 3 weeks, hadn't signed the contract, hadn't been able to get a hold of him, needed to put down a deposit and start working with him. And actually, he tore his Achilles.
Oh.
Okay. It was Aaron Rodgers. I'll just fess up. So it was Aaron Rodgers, who doubles as a ticket salesman and also doubles as a photographer in his spare time. And so he had blown out his Achilles. He wasn't available. And believe it or not, we were able to find a replacement photographer for $700 cheaper in 48 hours. So that was really the only speed bump where I was a little bit nervous. But honestly, the rest has been pretty smooth and a lot of fun. I mean, we've had a couple of unexpected family situations to navigate. And certainly we've had people that we thought might come who weren't, or the opposite. Hey, we weren't expecting you to RSVP in the positive. But for the most part, everything's been a lot of fun. And both Bob and I are planners, which makes it a little bit easier.
Well, hey, sorry about your Achilles, but blessing in disguise.
Yeah, Aaron, man, you messed up everything. Not just the Jets, but the wedding.
All right, so now we've got to get into a little Christmas here. And
Okay.
I have to start with everyone's favorite Christmas question. This one came in from multiple people, but I'll credit Timothy because I saw it from him first.
Okay.
He asks, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, my goodness. That's a good question. Well, I would say going back to when I was a kid, my mom always had my brother and I watch A Christmas Carol, the original one. That was our Christmas Eve fun. So that was probably the one that I most closely associate with Christmas. But I do love the cartoons. Frosty the Snowman is one of my favorites. The original How the Grinch Stole Christmas, love that one too. Now, in terms of more modern movies, Home Alone. Oh my gosh, Home Alone. And yes, to settle the argument, Die Hard is in fact a Christmas movie. And so I enjoy watching that one as well. Trying to think of other ones that I really like. Oh, the Jim Carrey versions of How the Grinch Stole Christmas too. Oh, and Tom Hanks is brilliant in A Polar Express. But in terms of nostalgia, it's A Christmas Carol from the Christmas Eves when my brother and I were kids and mom would let us stay up and watch it.
Nice. Can't beat that. All right, another Christmas one comes from Big Jim, who asks, do you have any sentimental Christmas ornaments?
Well, truth be told, just to let you in on a little secret, Jay told me this question was coming up just so I could think about it. Yes, I do have sentimental Christmas ornaments. Are you ready? My mom loves to buy me ornaments because she feels like it's investing in my Christmases in the future. So I have a few that I have brought as props. I love these. They make noise. And since I couldn't find my Christmas bell in time for us to record this version of Ask Amy Anything, so I'm a big fan of anything that makes noise, any bells. So there's one. Here's another one. Woo! Goes along with my living room that's so properly decked out. I'm also a huge fan of snowmen, and I mean any kind of snowmen. I leave my salt and pepper shakers that are snowmen on the table year round. So big time fan of snowman. And then mom loves ducks. I mean, mom and I both love animals, but mom loves ducks. So not that long ago, can you see? She got me actually a set of 3 ducks that are decked out in their scarves and their hats for Christmas. But I'll save the last 2 because they're the most sentimental and they're actually more recent. Couple of years ago when we were doing a quiet Christmas in Texas. I was a little disappointed because it wasn't a Christmas that we had planned. But for those of you who remember, this was the gift that my mom gave me. It was, I mean, she stole it actually from a Christmas lunch with her school because they had different ornaments and she saw the hippo and realized that it had to be mine. So she actually ran off with it because we both love the song I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Oh, it's kind of funny how it like disappears into the background. And so
Nice feature of your new house.
Yes, in my brand new house. So there's the hippo. And then one more. And this was actually a gift from a listener. Hope that you can see it. It's Grammy Helen.
Oh, very nice.
And someone took a photo that I had shared of us on social and turned it into a Christmas ornament. It was a really special gift that I really appreciated. It's in ornament form and it was already on the tree last year because it was a gift before Christmas. And I still miss her every day. Wish that we could talk about Christmas and I could send her gifts that she would tell me she doesn't want. And then she would love them and say they're her favorites of the entire season. So I miss Grammy Helen, but I have our photo in an ornament.
Love that. Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's get back to the wedding day.
Oh, okay. Back to wedding day, which, by the way, is a few days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm. So Patrick wants to know, what emotions are you feeling the most as we come down here on the final stretch before the day?
That is a good question. I actually alternate. There is a ton of anticipation, of course, not just because of the planning, but because Bob and I have gone through 9 months of long distance and we are just ready for it to be done. So even though the wedding is really exciting and we've got a bunch of our family and friends coming in, mostly my side, all traveling that I haven't seen in quite a while in some cases, there's a ton of joy for the idea of throwing a party for our friends and family. And that's what we keep telling ourselves as we write checks to pay off balances. It's not just for us. It's a party for our closest family and friends. So of course, we're really excited about that. Our themes are simple and elegant for the wedding ceremony, but then fun and laid back for the wedding reception. So we've got a lot of emotions, joy, anticipation, excitement. But honestly, what we're mostly looking forward to is the chance to finally be living in the same place. The chance to finally pack up a truck and get all of our belongings in the same place. In fact, have our dogs meet. We call it a blended household. We'll have 3 pets from our 2 households. We just want to start life together. So even as we count down toward the wedding, that's what we're most looking forward to, is the excitement of finally being able to live life in the same place, from the same house, and not have to be on the phone or texting all the time anymore.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fresh. Awesome. This comes from Eric. He asks, after the nuptials, is there any chance Bob will ever join you live on the air?
Actually, Jay, should we first, before we answer that question, pick up with the cliffhanger that we ended the second video? So Ask Amy Anything Walks Down the Aisle, or just Ask Amy Walks Down the Aisle. We ended with a cliffhanger. Jay, do you want to remind people what our cliffhanger was to keep people intrigued and coming back for the final video?
I do. So right at the end of our Ask Amy Walks Down the Aisle part 2, I asked, or someone asked, multiple people asked, let me just say, will you be moving to Texas after the wedding? And you said, I will say this, there will be a, quote, a move, but I won't say what it is. And that was it. That's all you said. So I guess we're about to get the answer here. Will you be moving to Texas? Or will it, yeah.
I will not be moving to Texas, but there will be a move. Bob is packing up and we are driving a moving truck after the wedding to New Jersey. He will be moving in with me, in large part because of the job and the contract that I have. And if you haven't read about my future plans when it comes to radio, should check out my latest blog post, because I answered that question, which people keep asking. Are you giving up radio? Are you giving up your show? Are you walking away? So you'll have to get the answer from that blog post. But in terms of the move, Bob has graciously agreed that we will make our first home together in the great state of New Jersey. He just saw New Jersey for the first time ever this summer, and I quote, I didn't know New Jersey had so many trees. Oh, it is called the Garden State. But I understand he actually thought that it was much more urban, and there are parts of New Jersey that are urban, but in northern New Jersey and northwest New Jersey, it's mountains and trees and gardens and green grass. And so now he really likes Jersey, which is a good thing, because yes, Bob will be moving with me and in with me. So getting back to the question about whether or not Bob will come to a radio show in the near future, will we be doing a combination radio show? He would love that, of course, but we'll see. We'll see whether or not I allow him to open up a mic on the air. I'm not sure I trust him. But what I do know is that on New Year's Eve, for the first time ever, he will come and he will hang out in studio. He'll get to see what it's like at After Hours and CBS Sports Radio. And because there aren't as many people in the office, in fact, no one in the office really on New Year's Day, I feel like it's safe to bring him so he doesn't turn into an episode of Show and Tell. But unfortunately, producer Jay will miss it because he's actually off on New Year's Eve and not working. And so Bob will remain a mystery to producer Jay for now.
I got to meet Bob. But that is it. That is it. A move. Bob moving to New Jersey. Amazing.
Yes.
That's the reveal. That was huge.
The cat is out of the bag. In fact, Bob is moving to New Jersey. And yes, he will come to work with me at least once to mark our first New Year's Eve together.
Awesome. Back to Christmas questions for a minute here.
Okay.
Chris wants to know, do you make a stocking for Penny?
Actually, I've never put together a real stocking for Penny, as in one that I hang on the hearth. See those stockings? Those are for family members, not for Penny. However, I do give Penny a little treat, a special treat. Got to be careful with Aussies because they have weak stomachs. At least mine does. And she does not do well when I change her diet. So I'm really careful, but she loves peanut butter. So I try to find a peanut butter treat of sorts for her. Used to be that I would get her a new toy, or I would get her some type of a squeaky ball. She's not big into toys. She used to chase balls when I would throw them, but she doesn't really chase much anymore. She thinks about chasing rabbits when they run in front of her path, but it's more of a dream. And so, yeah, Penny's never had a complete stocking, but maybe, who knows how much longer I'll have her. That might be a good idea. Maybe in 2023, Penny can have her own stocking. I do have one with BB-8 on it. That sounds perfect for Penny.
That's perfect for anybody. Penny doesn't want it. I'll take that. So this comes from Brandon, who wants to know, other than going to the Statue of Liberty, which you guys did recently, do you and Bob have any more exciting first trips planned?
Well, Bob would really like to come to Vegas and join us for Super Bowl week. So we'll see if that works out. But yes, we absolutely have a first planned, which would be a first trip to Hawaii for our honeymoon. Now, that's not taking place until May, just because of the busyness of the college football playoff and the NFL postseason. And then, of course, going into what is kind of a busy early spring. Plus, I'll be teaching a class again at Syracuse. And so Bob has graciously agreed that we will wait until early May for our honeymoon, but neither of us have been to Hawaii, so that is the honeymoon destination. And as for local events or local field trips, we'll call them, I can't wait to introduce Bob to the 9/11 Memorial and the museum and all of Ground Zero because he's never seen it. So that's really important for me that he sees it with his own eyes for the first time.
It's a very, very touching sight.
It's moving. Regardless of where you're from, it's powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. All right, back to Christmas here. Gary wants to know, do you have a Christmas present in mind yet for Bob? Now, he might watch this.
Yeah, here's the problem. If I tell you the Christmas present, then it won't be a surprise. Here, I'll tell you one that Bob already knows about. Bob is an avid biker. He's not a runner like me. Instead, he bikes for his cardio. And obviously in the wintertime in the Northeast, it's harder to bike outside. But he doesn't love the fact that I have a stationary bike, a recumbent bike. As soon as he can get outside, he wants to bike. So that is his Christmas present. We're actually going to be buying bikes together, even though we may not use them right away at Christmas time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. But I do have another gift that I cannot tell you. It's a secret because I know he's going to watch this video and his family. I do have one that he can also use in the winter time. And so maybe I'll tell you about that after the fact. But the bike is the big gift, which he will use as soon as he can get outside.
Nice. That's an awesome present.
Yeah, it'll be fun for us to share that.
You ready for rapid fire here?
Yes, actually, I am ready for rapid fire, but something else that I can't reveal at this point, though I'll be really excited to share with you after the fact. I have picked a song for me to walk down the aisle. I've known this song for 15 years. I'm not joking. I picked the song 15 years ago, never knowing when I would get married, but knowing that there was a specific song that I wanted to use when I walked down the aisle. So now we are days away from it being revealed, not just to Bob, because it's special for him, but to my friends and family. And of course, I cannot tell you until then.
Is that another tease on another edition of Ask Amy Walks Down the Aisle?
It is. Of course, stories from the wedding, too, because you know there's going to be something crazy that happens because it's me. It's me, and I just don't do anything that's ever boring.
All right. I guess everyone's going to have to stay tuned to that one. We'll see. All right, let's get into rapid fire. Ugly sweaters or matching PJs?
Oh, matching PJs. It's so corny.
Ooh. Eggnog or hot chocolate?
Oh, hot chocolate. You know me. I'm a chocolate girl.
To give or to receive?
To give. Every time to give.
Snowmen or snow angels?
Snowmen, snowmen, snowmen. Even if it's the middle of the summertime, I love the snowmen.
The Grinch or Buddy the Elf?
Oh. I like the Grinch.
All right, last one here. It might be a tough one. John McClane or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Who's the more iconic Christmas figure?
You tell me.
I'm going to go with Rudolph.
Oh, John.
Because I told you already Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but everyone knows Rudolph. Santa can't get where he's going without Rudolph. And we cannot get through this holiday season without telling you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you for supporting us and supporting our show. By the way, you have to subscribe to the YouTube channel because Jay is so close to eating more broccoli than he can ever imagine. Happy holidays.
American woman, listen what I say.